What is going on, guys? Today, we finally did it. We finally watched A Christmas Story Christmas, the full movie, and we have a lot to say about it. This is going to be our spoiler-free review. Super excited to bring it to you. We're going to be talking not about specific plot points or stuff that happened in the movie. We'll save that for another video. But we are going to tell you our thoughts and opinions about it. Really, really cool movie. Ryan, what are some things that stood out to you right off the bat here?
Yes, dude. So yeah, here, before we jump in again, this is the spoiler-free review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, that is okay. Smash the like button if you want the spoiler review to come out tomorrow. If we can, if you guys can just smash that like button for us, we will get that out tomorrow 100%. But so let's jump right into a spoiler-free review. Some things that jumped out to me with this movie. I mean, I was a big fan of it overall. This movie was just a lot of fun. Like, that's the one thing that I can say about it. And really, I had two words after watching this movie. I can describe this movie to you in two words. You want to know what those two words are?
Dude, what are they?
Cheesy goodness.
Dude, it is cheesy goodness.
Dude, and if you're like, what does that mean? What are we talking about cheese for? Cheesy goodness. This movie was cheesy. Okay, a little corny.
It is,
a little
dude.
cheesy
but
at
it's
times.
It's not like overpowering.
No,
like, it doesn't make me turn it off and be like, God, that's not what Christmas is about. It doesn't make me do that.
No, the reason it's cheesy goodness is because this movie somehow, like, normally a lot of like cheesy and corny stuff does not work for me in movies. Like, it feels forced. Yes. Like, where if you're trying to put in a comedic line in a scene where it doesn't need to be there, or just like a lot of corny stuff and cheesy stuff, I'm like, like, it just makes you cringe, or it just doesn't feel right.
Right, dude, right.
All of it in this movie, like, fit perfectly. It went together. It felt like it was part of the movie, and like, I really enjoyed it. It didn't take me out of the movie at all.
No.
And another note that I had about this movie was that, like, when watching this movie, I was like, man, it seems so cool. It seemed like it would have been so fun to be on set for this movie. It seemed like all of the actors just seemed like they had a blast in every scene.
Dude, absolutely. And there was no actor or actress that, like, weighed down any part of the movie. Like, I was worried at the beginning. I was like, I don't know if these, like, the kids are, like, really adding anything to it. But then they brought a lot of flavor to their characters, like, later in the movie, and rounded it out and completed, like, the whole, like, family vibe, which I really enjoyed. It was very, very cool to, like, see them renew such a classic film with the same cast. We got a video in the background going, interviewing all the cast members of the original Christmas Story, and they got all of them back for this new movie, and it's so cool to see them, and, like, not only, like, what they're doing, what they're up to, but, like, how they, like, all interact, and there's, like, still that magic that's able to be created. I think nowadays it's very hard to pull off the type of movie that they pulled off with, like, so many movies coming out every year. It's kind of like, in the 80s, there's lightning in a bottle that was captured with so many Christmas movies. You got, like, Home Alone. You got, this movie. I'm trying to think of some other ones. But there were some bangers, absolute bangers that you can just play in the background while you're laying cozied up on the couch, drinking hot cocoa with the fam. And it gives, like, this, like, familial whimsy that's, like, in the air, dude. And that's exactly what this movie does, dude. Like, there's so many, like, even, like, watching the family interact, dude, it gives me like a more wholesome, like, Disney Channel vibe, where it's like it's like Disney Channel, but the parents aren't idiots. You know what I mean? Like, they still really care, but there's a component, even, like, the dad, dude, there's a component to the dad that's, like, still that little kid, which I think is, like, very cool and reflective of how life works in general. He's still, like, daydreaming of his big break, and, like, daydreaming of, like, this and that. And there's so many, like, little things to his character and little jokes that they add. And there's some very, like, adult moments in the movie too. Like, like, I love how they, like, go to the bar. I love that aspect of it, dude. I love all the drunk people in the movie. I won't spoil anything, but there are some drunk people. And it's a fun, good holiday movie that, like, is timeless, and, like, really, it's like, I don't know if it's, like, 100% as special as the first one, but there definitely is, like, an energy that's, like, goofy, fun, and silly, and, like, I would rewatch this movie with the fam.
For sure. Yeah, it's not one of those remakes where, like, even, we talked about in previous breakdowns of this movie where we were, worried that a lot of these remakes and number twos and threes of movies, they're just bringing them out to try to generate more money, and they don't have that feel. Like, this movie, we think, did have the feel, and it did resonate with everyone and still captured what it needed to really make it feel like, okay, this is, this is a very quality movie, and you can have a lot of fun with it. Something else I really liked was that this movie, it doesn't like require you to have extensive knowledge or memory of the first movie. Like, if you haven't even seen the first movie, you could watch this movie.
Yep.
And you could be fine. And I really like that. In this movie, it has some like flashbacks to the first movie too, to like fill in some of the gaps for you with like specific things that happen and that are relevant to this movie, which I like. But yeah, it's good to make it easily accessible and watchable to every single person. But yeah, like you said, I think this can be a timely movie, and I would for sure rewatch it. I don't think people are going to feel cheaped or cheated and just felt like, oh, this was a cash grab. Like, I think you can actually sit down and be like, this was a genuinely good
project
movie.
that, like,
yes,
that was like very well developed, and they made sure, instead of just cashing in on like the title, they were like, okay, let's slow down. Let's make sure all the pieces are here so that we can try to recreate some of that Christmas magic.
Dude, and they could have phoned it in. Like, they could have just said, oh, we have the whole original cast back. That's what everybody wants. We can kind of, like, the plot doesn't really matter. Lines, it doesn't have to be the best production or the best movie. Because, like, we have, one of the most important elements for making another movie, a sequel to, movies. But no, they didn't phone it in. Like, they used those elements, using the elements of this cast that they loved and the other elements that made the previous movie special. And they're like, no, we're going to, like, tap into that and make sure that we're focusing on it and that it actually makes the movie better.
Absolutely, dude. There's a lot of, like, little subtle callbacks. Like you said, you don't need to watch the first one, but there's all these little subtle callbacks that really, like, make you feel like you're in that world still, and it's such like a cool world that they created. What else, dude? What else? Oh, I really like the main character's voice. You know what I mean? And it, like, sort of his like appearance and look on screen, and he has kind of like this like Father Christmas vibe to him.
Yeah,
that's like hard to pinpoint. You know what I mean? But he's still that little kid at the same time, like he's just like a good guy. He makes me feel good when he's on screen. Bluest eyes I've ever seen, dude. I've said that before in another video, but I meant it then, and I mean it now, dude. So and really, like, there's not very many movies out today that are like this.
Dude, and yeah, like you said, the feel of the main character. I like, again, we're not parents. We're not like anywhere near the age of the actor or the on-screen character, but my guess would be his character is so incredibly relatable for a variety of reasons. But like, for young parents, I just feel like you could resonate with Ralphie so easily.
Dude, yes.
So
and
easily.
Like, I'm not even like a dad, but I'm to the point where I'm like really relating with like Ralphie and what he's going through, trying to get his career together. There's all these things that are set in motion, and dude, his wife, absolute queen, bro, absolute queen, dude. She is beautiful in this movie, and she gives like the most sound advice, dude. So she's like this maternal role model, dude. I love it, man. I love that energy on screen.
That's another thing that I picked up from this movie was this movie, like, surprisingly had a lot of life lessons.
Yeah.
Which is like, I did not expect
a lot of them that
like
went very well together.
No, yeah, 100%. In these life lessons, dude, there was some for kids, like kids the age of the Ralphie's kids. There was life lessons for the parents, and there was also just life lessons for like in life in general that could be applied to anybody. And I was like, wow, like, there's actually some really good wholesome stuff in here that like people can take away. In like, I just didn't expect that from what I thought was just going to be like a good fun Christmas movie. Like, that's really cool that they they had great advice and like impactful moments, scenes, and words in here.
Another small thing that kind of took me by surprise was their like pacing early on in the movie to like grab me right away. Like I remember there was this particular sequence of scenes where like everybody's laughing in the kitchen, and then something like very serious happens, and it just like grips you. You know what I mean? And then it like it's like, all right, we're like rolling in the movie right now. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And like Marvel movies do that very, very well, but this movie did it very well right off the bat too.
Yeah, I was drawn into this movie very quickly, and again, it's not like there's some huge action sequence like a Marvel movie that you're getting. Like they were able to capture my attention and get me to care very quickly. And that's important, especially for people that don't have a ton of fond memories of the first movie or maybe haven't seen the first movie. I feel like you'll be able to get invested fairly quickly into this movie. But again, like I think that everybody has a great chance to enjoy this movie. Again, you don't need to watch the first movie, and I think this was just a really fun movie overall. And again, has great takeaways in it, has great lessons if you picked up on them. And yeah, like if we're talking Christmas classics, is this a true Christmas classic? Like, probably not.
Right.
But again, I feel like that's there's a steep hierarchy when it comes to Christmas classics. You know what I mean? It's such a high bar. It is such a high bar. But at the same time, this could be a Christmas classic. But it's like I feel like that's going to take years to develop, right? Like we're going to have to fast forward 5-10 years, and then you'll be able to like really judge, was this a Christmas classic? Like how many people are rewatching this? But I will say, like, I think this movie is good enough to where in a couple of years, if I'm sitting down around Christmas time and I'm like, I want to watch the classic Christmas Story movie. Like, there's a very good chance I'm gonna pop on this movie right after it.
Dude, 100%, bro.
Like,
get the full storyline.
Dude, 100%. And like, so that's where it is for me. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. I think there's a lot of good stuff in here. And again, cheesy goodness. This movie, like, it'll just put a smile on your face. It'll make you laugh. It's not making you cringe. It's not bad in that way.
Right,
and
dude.
It's literally just a good time. Like I can't say it enough. This was one of the movies where I could like see through the actors and like I was thinking about them from an actor perspective, and I'm like, wow, they just look like they're having a blast. Dude, like I was like, I want to be on set, like seeing the takes of the scenes and stuff, because they just looked like they were having so much fun.
And there's something about like I don't know if it's like the writers to the original movie and they based it off of that, but like the original movie especially, but also this one, they're not afraid to dip their like toes into like some more like sketchier, raunchier, like maybe a little bit like weirder themes, like in jokes especially. They're like a little bit more like dirty or like raunchy, like semi, but it just gets a laugh out of you. Like it's not trying to be politically correct. It's not trying to be this or that. It's like that's how family actually is sometimes.
Yeah.
But it serves it to you on like this like platter of like goofy goodness where it's so digestible, and it's like, man, I just love living in this world.
Yes, dude, that's a really good point. Dude, this movie is incredibly digestible. It's not a movie where like you look 30 minutes into it and you're like, are we almost done with this? No, this movie like flies by. It flies by, especially with the pacing. I think they did a good job. They like vary the pacing back and forth. The cuts also do a good job with that. But no, this movie, it does not drag along, and it's a really good time.
Absolutely. And guys, let us know in the comments section, what do you think? Is this going to be a timeless holiday classic that people are watching from generations to generations from now? Or is it going to fall to the wayside? I think it could go either way. So let us know in the comments. Smash the like button. How many likes are we shooting for, Ryan?
Dude, we are going to... Oh, man. Well, if we're trying to upload it tomorrow, again, guys, I think let's go for... I don't know, man. What are we thinking? Like 10, 15? I feel like that's an incredibly easy bar. I want to upload the spoiler review tomorrow. So like I'm not shooting for a lot, guys.
Yeah, I think in 24 hours, I think we can hit 15 likes. That's a high bar,
so
but
that's so easy. I think, dude.
And in a few days from now, if you're coming across this video in a week from when it was uploaded, keep smashing that like button. Blow it up.
Yes, guys. And so, guys, again, subscribe to the channel. If this is the first time you're seeing our content, we upload daily. We do a lot of different movie reviews, TV show reviews, but also play a lot of games. So check out all the content. We got everything in playlist for you. And again, stay tuned for most likely tomorrow as we will have the spoiler review, and we'll get to dive deeper into the nitty gritty of this movie. Can't wait for it.
And we will see you in the next one.